Hey, it's Caressa.
Hey, it's Maddie.
You're not watching the Disney Channel right now.
You're listening to
Dreadfully Twisted. Hello, everybody. We are back.
Dreadfully Twisted's
Back again, gang. Dreadfully Twisted's back. Tell your friends, and family. Doing that with my new hair is like, woo! I just got my hair cut by Maddie's mom.
It looks beautiful.
But a couple things.
Yeah.
So one, you know how like I told you Jeremy streams on like Twitch and stuff, but he has people watching him and stuff. So his chat today, I was talking about how like I'm not gonna say it, but you know the thing we were talking about earlier, and I was talking about that, and then we somehow started talking about our podcast that we have, like you and I. Well, you and I weren't talking to them, but I was talking to them about our podcast that you and I have together. Poor wording. And they're asking what it was, and the one person was like, what's it called? And I was like, Dreadfully Twisted. And they were like, and they looked it up, and they're like, by Caressa and Maddie. I was like, yeah. And they're like, okay, we're gonna go follow. And I was like, oh, so all of his like chat probably went to go follow our podcast.
Yay.
So if they did and they are listening to this, thank you. I appreciate you. And you're gonna see how stupid I am.
Welcome to the Hot Mess Express. It's gonna be a fun ride though, don't you worry.
I don't think we're a hot mess.
No. Sometimes, but we try. We what? That wasn't even a word. But we proving
the point wrong right now.
We try to rehinge and get our stuff together, but clearly it doesn't work out all the time. Exhibit A.
But that's why you guys love listening to us. And if you don't love that, then I'm sorry, we're not for you.
Yeah,
that's good. That's fine.
But we love you to our listeners, so yes.
But so I decided to tell you that because I forgot about that. The other thing is this episode kind of was an accident that I found because I was looking into a supernatural person who committed a crime. Yeah, they're not like somebody from the show Supernatural, but they're not like a main character at all. Yeah. They're like it was like a little kid that grew up and did something. So I was going to do that originally, but I couldn't find enough on it in the time that I was looking. Because I was like, I didn't have anything really planned. I know I keep telling him to do the Slender Man murders, and I'm sorry.
It's a lot of research. It'll come. Eventually.
Yeah. So I was trying to find something that was like a little bit easier. Yeah. And then I found this on accident. And this one, man.
I found an accident one today too.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't find this one today. I found this like beginning of the week.
Yeah.
And I've been planning on doing it all week. But yeah. So funny story. Whenever I was doing this, for some reason, I thought the guy's name was Andrew or Alexander. I thought it was Alexander. And then today, whenever I was going back through my research, I was like, wait, that's not his name. His name is not Alexander. Isn't it Andrew? And I was like, no, let me look. So I looked it back up. Yeah. I was completely wrong. His name is Aaron. So I had to go back in, and this is also why I didn't have my research on my computer yet. It was on my phone because I typed it up as Andrew Hernandez, Andrew, or Alexander, or whatever the first one I thought was. And I was like, wait, that's not it. And then I was like, how did I get Andrew or Alexander? Okay. And then I realized it's because another person in the story is named Alexander. And I thought he was Alexander. And it was just like, what is going on right now? I'm a hot mess today. Like all week. And I was telling Jeremy, I was like, wait, his name's not Alexander. It's Aaron. And then he was like, hey, Aaron. And I'm like, what are you doing? It was just so funny. But I'm like, I'm glad I caught it. Because then otherwise I'd be doing this with the wrong name.
Yeah. I'm glad.
I'm just like, what is going on with me today?
I've had those days. Don't worry. I've done it
too. It's been a week. But what's funny about this is it's still along the same line. It's like a celebrity, but it's not. So, are you ready to dive in, or
yeah?
Did you have anything else before? Because this one's gonna be kind of long.
No, I don't think so.
Okay. I don't think I had anything either. I feel like I did though. I did have something. What was? Oh, it was what was it? Something I took a picture of. Why did I say picture weird? Picture.
Have you ever heard of The Staircase? It's like a they did a documentary TV show, and like that's what the case is kind of like.
Is it with person named Kathleen?
I think so, yeah.
I'm pretty sure I have. I don't know.
Yeah, Kathleen Peterson.
Yeah.
Michael.
I don't know what it was, but it was something local to here that I thought I sent you.
Might do that one. That's so crazy. Like, one of the theories were just the most insane thing I've ever heard in my life.
It is, because I think I saw that too, because they thought the husband did it.
Yeah.
Oh, it was that UPMC doctor who was charged with trying to kill his wife in Hawaii. That's what I wanted to briefly mention. A former Pittsburgh professor and UPMC doctor was arrested after police tried. Oh my god! After he tried to kill his wife in Hawaii. That's what I sent you. And then the other thing was that scary thing that happened at that municipal water place where they got hacked, and they took that article down.
Really? That's weird.
Oh, I know, it's still there.
That was it.
But yeah.
Also, the Spanish singer Selena, the lady who killed her just filed. I don't know if that's the right word, but filed for parole. Not
filed for parole. Yeah.
And obviously it got denied. So
good.
Yeah. And also, I didn't know like the whole story, but I looked it up, and the reason why she supposedly killed her was because Selena caught her embezzling $60,000, or found out that she embezzled $60,000. So either way, she would have went to jail.
Yeah.
So, just why?
People don't make sense.
I know.
But if we're ready to dive in, it's going to be kind of a long one, so I'm sorry.
It's okay.
As per usual, because I like to go overboard. Because I'm crazy. Not that I like to go overboard, but I don't know, it's the way I am. My brain works weird. But I don't know why I snapped. This episode is about a football player who killed somebody. So yay! Let's dive in. His name is not Alexander or Andrew. It is actually Aaron. Aaron Joseph Hernandez was born in Bristol, Connecticut on November 6th, 1989, and he was raised on Greystone Avenue. His parents were Dennis Hernandez, who was of Puerto Rican descent, and Terry Valentine Hernandez of Italian descent. As an adult, Hernandez remembered his mother throwing his father out of the house on multiple occasions, but always letting him back in. The couple married in 1986, divorced in 1991, got remarried in 1996, and in 1999 they filed for bankruptcy.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Get together, divorce, get back together. What?
Yeah.
Okay. Aaron, there's a lot of things in this case that are just like, what is going on here? Aaron later stated there was constant fighting going on in the house. Both parents would be arrested and involved in crime during their lives, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Aaron had an older brother, Dennis Jonathan Jr., who is known as DJ. So whenever I do talk about his brother, he's gonna be introduced as DJ. Their father pushed them to excel mainly through sports, but was often abusive towards both boys and their mother. The beatings his father gave him and his brother were sometimes for no reason at all, or were alcohol related, but often came with their father. What? Oh, I did not read that right. But often came when their father believed they were not trying hard enough in school or athletics. Aaron and his brother lived in constant fear of their father and also hated him. Wait, is that what that says? What does that word mean? What does that word mean? Why did I use it? Why did I also think it was a different name? Oh, no. Cut that out. They were also... What was the word I was just thinking of? They also adored him. Once, Aaron came to school with a bruised eye, and his coach believed that the injury resulted from the father attacking him. His father once punched his youth football coach after a dispute about coaching methods. Jeez. Don't do that.
Yeah.
That's like not okay, but also just like super embarrassing for the child.
Yeah, seriously.
Publicly, their father projected an image of someone who had some run-ins with the police but turned his life around to become a good father and citizen. In January of 2006, when Aaron Hernandez was 16 years old, his father Dennis died of complications from a hernia surgery. According to his mother, Aaron was heavily affected by his father's death and acted out his grief by rebelling against authority figures. Those who knew him said he never got over his father's death, which that part completely understand. So that's understandable, but the other things that he does, don't do that.
Yeah.
Aaron became estranged from his mother and largely moved in with Tanya Singleton, his older cousin. Following his dad's death, the family learned that Terry Hernandez and Tanya Singleton's husband, Jeff Cummings, had been having an extramarital affair.
Oh.
Yeah. So his mom was having an affair with his cousin's husband.
Oh. Well then.
This became public, and then Tanya and Jeff divorced, and Jeff moved in with Terry. This enraged Aaron. It was while he was living with Terry Singleton that Hernandez became more involved with criminal activity. In a jailhouse conversation, Aaron accused his mother, Terry, of failing to obtain medication for his ADHD, which he said caused him to struggle in school. In another call, he told her, quote, "There's so many things I would love to talk to you about, so you can know me as a person, but I could never tell you, and you're gonna die without even knowing your son," end quote.
Oh, what?
Yeah. That's really harsh to say.
That's not normal. That is not a normal thing to say.
No. And also, this episode is heavily trigger warnings for child sexual assault and suicide. Suicide will be way later. Yeah. Just stating that now. So if you want to skip this episode, we completely understand. But right now, there's a trigger warning for the sexual assault. So if you want to skip like 30 seconds, go ahead. According to his brother DJ, Aaron was also sexually molested as a child. A teenage boy in his babysitter's house forced him to perform oral sex on him, beginning when Aaron was 6 years old and continuing for several years. So, yeah.
Ew.
Gross.
Disgusting.
Aaron attended Bristol Central High School, where he played for the Bristol Rams. That's like a alliteration. Football team. He was also an exceptional basketball player and track runner. He started as a wide receiver before becoming a tight end and also played defensive end. Also, there is a lot of football jargon in here. I don't know what any of it means, so I apologize. I don't know football, so sorry if you do. I'm trying. It was really hard to research, and I was not going to what every definition was because there's so much, and I'm just like, I'm not doing that. As a senior, he was Connecticut's Gatorade Football Player of the Year after making 67 receptions for 1,807 yards and 24 touchdowns on offense and 72 tackles, 12 sacks, and 3 forced fumbles, 2 fumble recoveries, and 4 blocked kicks on defense. So I think that's good. He was also a U.S. Army All-American. The 1,800 receiving yards and 24 touchdowns made by him were state records, by the way. His 31 career touchdowns tied the state record. He also set the state record for receiving yards in a single game with 376. The 7th best in the national high school. High school. Sorry, I just became a different person in that second. I don't know what's going on.
A little bit of country slipped in, that's all.
It's because of my haircut. He set a national high school record for yards receiving per game with 187.7. Hernandez was considered the top tight end recruit in 2007 by Scout.com. I had to say that without looking at the word. I think that's the problem. Yeah. Oh God, it's coming up again. He was not known for working hard as a child, but by high school, when he was nearly 6'2" tall, he worked harder than anyone else on the team. During one game in 2006, he took a blindside hit to the head so hard that he was knocked out cold, and an ambulance took him off the field. He was very popular in school. He first began dating his future fiancée, Shayana Jenkins, during high school. The two had known each other since elementary school. He also smoked a large quantity of marijuana, smoking before school practices and games. His social life included, quote, a sizable amount of drinking in addition to the marijuana. to the marijuana. At first, he was committed to play at the University of Connecticut with his brother DJ, but later chose to play for the University of Florida under head coach Urban Meyer. Meyer flew to Connecticut and convinced Aaron's principal to allow him to graduate more than a semester early. This allowed him to move to Florida, join the team, and learn the playbook shortly after his 17th birthday. The Boston Globe later... What?
It's okay. You're struggling a little bit. Notebook.
What did I say?
Notebook. Instead of notebook.
Huh? Boston Globe.
No, before that.
Playbook?
Yeah, playbook. Playbook. Not notebook. Playbook.
I am sorry. My astigmatism is really acting up today.
I just thought of like pork,
so I can't read.
Like a dog. And it made me laugh. Pork.
Okay. He flew to Florida to join the team and learn the playbook shortly after his 17th birthday. The Boston Globe later opinioned that, quote, there was no way except physically he was ready for this. The young man who came to Gainesville wasn't academically prepared or emotionally grounded for college life. According to previously undisclosed college records and records of phone calls Hernandez later made from jail, he had graduated high school more than a semester early, not because he was a great student, but because he was a great football player. The athletic gifts were obvious, but behind them was an angry teenager struggling with an abusive upbringing and growing dependence on drugs and questions about his own sexual identity. End quote. So yeah. I'm sorry, my astigmatism is really bad today, so if I keep messing up, sorry.
It is okay.
Love you guys. Urban Meyer was aided in the recruitment of Steve Adazio, a Connecticut native, and Florida quarterback Tim Tebow. Steve Adazio and Urban Meyer told Aaron that they believed he had potential to play in the National Football League, which is the NFL. Woo! Aaron's principal later said that the two were persuasive and heavily pressured Aaron Hernandez, but in retrospect that it was a mistake to allow him to graduate early. He was not academically prepared for college and had to take remedial courses at Santa Fe Community College. Many of his teammates, particularly those whom Meyer convinced to come to Gainesville early. Between practices, games, teams meetings, and other events, Aaron put 40 to 60 hours a week into football nearly year-round, which is a lot of hours just for football.
Yeah.
It's more than I work. No, not necessarily. Not if you count work, crafting, and this.
Yeah.
If you count just work, yeah. As a freshman in 2007, he started 3 games for the Florida Gators. He finished the season with 9 receptions for 151 yards and 2 touchdowns. Though he excelled his freshman year, he was benched in the season opener of his sophomore year due to a failed drug test. Can I speak today? Following that, he earned... That is not what that said. Following that, he started 11 of 13 games during the 2008 season in place of the injured Cornelius Ingram, and finished the season with 34 receptions for 381 yards and 5 touchdowns. In the 2009 BCS National Championship game against the Oklahoma Sooners, Hernandez led the Gators in receiving yards with 57 on 5 receptions as the Gators defeated the Sooners to win. I'm just gonna go over that quickly in their 3 seasons because it's just not really relevant to this. As a junior in 2009, after leading the team in receptions with a lot of yards and 5 touchdowns, I'm not gonna even go into detail, he won the John Mackey Award as a nation's best tight end. He was also the first team Southeastern Conference selection. It was recognized as a first-team All-American by the Associated Press, College Football News, and the Sporting News. During his final game, he threw the ball into the stands to celebrate a touchdown. The excessive display risked a personal foul penalty and saw the athlete with little to lose personality if he chose to go to the NFL instead of returning for another year of college football. Aaron later said that he was high on drugs every time he took to the field.
Jeez.
Yeah. Meyer had wanted to remove him from the team for his chronic marijuana use, but relented after an appeal from Tebow happened. However, after his junior year, Meyer told him he would not be welcome back for a 4th year and that he would have to try to get picked up by a professional team in the 2010 NFL draft.
I was gonna say, don't they like drug tests and stuff for sports?
Yeah. And he did it anyway, as you can see.
I see that.
He finished his college career with 111 receptions for 1,382 yards and 12 touchdowns. He was Always trying to be the life of the party, according to a teammate. His classes his first year included bowling, theater, appreciation, wildlife issues, and course entitled Plants, Gardening, and You, which all sounds so wholesome.
I know,
but he's not. During his first semester, he largely earned B's. He made the conference honor roll during his sophomore year, but as a junior, he got a D in a class on poverty and did not complete his second attempt in an introductory statistics class. Myers said later that he found Aaron to be a distressed person when he arrived on campus, tried to steer him in the right direction. Florida coaches aligned Aaron with Macrease and Mike Pouncey. He reportedly grew close with the twins after rooming with them, and staff considered the Pounceys a positive influence on Aaron. In January of 2010, which was on January 6th, he announced his decision to forego his senior year and enter the draft. He attended the NFL scouting combine and was unable to perform any physical drills after tearing a muscle in his back during the offseason. So he tore a muscle in his back, and that's why he couldn't. And then on March 17, 2010, he participated at Florida's Pro Day and performed all the Columbine drills. His time in the 40-yard dash would have ranked 4th among all tight ends at the NFL Combine. Hernandez also performed 30 repetitions of 225 pounds on the bench press and would have been top performance of all tight ends, surpassing Dennis Pitta's top performance of 27 repetitions. NFL analyst Mike Mayock stated that off-the-field concerns and concerns over Hernandez's physical size were causing his draft stock to plummet, but believed that Hernandez would still be drafted in the second round. At the conclusion of the pre-draft process, he was projected to be the second-round pick by the majority of the NFL draft experts and scouts. He was ranked as the third best by the end of the draft. So this is when we get into where he actually becomes a part of the NFL. Which is crazy. That is not what that said. Not New York. It's the New England Patriots. The New England Patriots selected Aaron Hernandez in the 4th round of the 2010 NFL draft at 20 years old. He was only 20. That's crazy. Like, he was only 20 years old, yeah. But like at the same time, like, I feel like that's how old they are. And this also gets crazier because this guy that I'm going to talk about in a second, he's always on commercials nowadays. The previous day, the Patriots drafted Arizona tight end Rob Gronkowski, which he's in a bunch of, like, he's in that AARP commercial. I don't know if you ever saw it. Aaron was the 6th tight end drafted in 2010. Despite him being considered a top tight end prospect, multiple teams reportedly chose not to draft him because he was a problem. That's a quote. He was a problem. Which is like, red flag?
Yeah.
Aaron's draft stock plummeted due to multiple off-the-field issues during college, rumors of multiple failed drug tests, and character concerns. Multiple teams elected to remove him from their draft boards entirely due to character concerns, including the Indianapolis Colts, Cincinnati Bengals, and Miami Dolphins. Hernandez received the lowest possible score in social maturity in the pre-draft report. The Patriots signed free agent Alge Crumpler and drafted Aaron Hernandez and Rob Gronkowski after they overhauled the tight end position by releasing Benjamin Watson and opting to not re-sign Chris Baker and backup Michael Matthews. On April 27, 2010, the Boston Globe reported the multiple sources that Aaron Hernandez admitted to scouts and team representatives during interviews at the NFL Combine that he had a history of marijuana use and he had failed multiple drug tests while in college. Later that day, the Patriots released a statement from Aaron, who said that he failed only one drug test while in college and was candid about it to interested teams at the NFL Combine. So they just try to cover it up.
Yeah.
He wrote a letter to every team offering to be tested every other week during his rookie season. Patriots owner Robert Kraft later said that after Aaron's arrest that the Patriots drafted him after he would gain their trust and said that he had absolutely nothing to worry about in the letter sent to the Patriots director. Which is crazy. Just believe his word, I guess.
Yeah.
On June 8th, 2010, the Patriots signed him to a 4-year contract at $2.37 million.
That is insane.
That included a signing bonus of $200,000.
Wow.
Which was less than half the signing bonus received by Patriots' 4th-round pick. In 2006. I don't really care about that. The Patriots declined to give Hernandez the expected $500,000 signing bonus as a precautionary measure.
Oh.
To compensate for a smaller signing bonus, he received a contract that included a series of roster and workout bonuses and an additional $700,000.
Okay. Wow.
If Aaron reached all bonuses and escalators, he would receive an annual salary comparable to a third rounder, but would have to walk the straight and narrow line to do so. Throughout training camp, Aaron completed to be start tight end against Crumpler, Gronkowski, and Rob Myers. He had an impressive preseason along him, and their preseason's performance would ultimately foreshadow their future success as one of the top tight end tandems in the league history. And I'm only going over this because just to show you that he was a major football player, just for it to show like that he was not a good person. Mm-hmm. At least I don't know. I'm also like kind of like tied between it because like, did he actually do it or did he not actually do it? But we'll see. He started the 2010 season as the youngest player, and he made professional regular season debut and his first career start at 20 years old in the Patriots season opener. He was the youngest player since 1960 to have more than 100 receiving yards in a single game. In week 3, he led all Patriot receivers with 6 catches for 65 yards. On November 7, 2010, he caught 5 passes for 48 yards and scored the first 2 touchdowns. I'm just going to go over that because I don't really care about the football stuff. He made, on December 19th, he made 4 catches for 31 yards, and he became popular. He finished his rookie season in 2010 with 45 receptions for 563 receiving yards and 6 touchdowns receptions over 14 games with 7 starts. And Hernandez and Gronkowski began having success and increased the use of 2 tight ends to capitalize on their exceptional receiving ability. And together they did 87 receptions with all that stuff. I'm getting bored with the football stuff. On February 21st, 2011, it was reported that Hernandez had undergone hip surgery after injuring it in week 15. He entered training camp slated as a backup tight end and completed to be the secondary tight end for 2 people. During the training camp, that is pointless. I don't need to go over that. Put stuff in here that I don't really need to go over.
Yeah, do that too.
We're talking about a lot of money. Oh, okay. So Johnson and Hernandez both claimed no compensation was arranged and the transaction was a kind gesture between teammates and nothing more. So Johnson was another football player, and Aaron's attorney, Jose Baez, claimed Aaron saw an opportunity after the arrival of Johnson and offered number 85 to Johnson for $75,000. It was claimed by his attorney that Johnson countered with a $50,000 offer that Aaron accepted. The money was reportedly used to finance a wholesale marijuana purchase by Hernandez for his cousin's husband, T.L. Singleton, who later paid Aaron back $120,000 for the loan. Going over that. I don't want to go over that. I need to go over that. I don't need to go over all tech that I don't need to go over. It's first. Okay, so in August of 2012, the Patriots signed Hernandez to another 5-year contract at $39.58 million.
Oh, wow.
Can I have that?
Seriously? Please.
So they, again, re-signed him. Aaron was not popular with his teammates and had a few friends in the locker room. According to one of his teammates, he seemed to enjoy being an outcast on the team. Brady, which is Tom Brady, I believe, which is crazy, was overheard after a game telling Tim Tebow, Aaron Hernandez, quarterback in college, that he was trying to steer Aaron Hernandez in the right direction, but called him a lot to handle. Tebow had previously tried to help Hernandez and enlisted Brady for the same purpose. Aaron Hernandez was, however, known as one of the hardest working members on the team. Other Patriots have said that Aaron Hernandez was often seeking attention and times seemed unhinged. Red flag.
Yeah.
Belichick was running out of patience with Aaron Hernandez by June 2013 and intended to notify the front office to have Aaron Hernandez released from the team. After his arrest for the murder of Odin Lloyd, Belichick prohibited Aaron Hernandez's name from being spoken in the locker room ever again. So, spoiler alert, he kills somebody.
Uh-oh.
Gronkowski repeatedly declined to answer any questions about Aaron Hernandez in interviews and nearly walked out of a CBS interview in July 2013 until the reporter agreed to change the subject away from his former teammate. In one of his letters sent from the time in prison, Aaron Hernandez disparaged Kraft as fake-ass non-loyal. That's a quote, fake-ass non-loyal, end quote. But expressed admiration for several of his teammates. He was probably the closest with Brady, he said, but also friendly with Julian Edelman and Deion Branch. He also called Gronkowski the best TE ever to walk on the football field. Alex See? I put Alex. Aaron Hernandez also had close relationships with Brandon Spikes and Fred Taylor, who both expressed their support of Hernandez following his death. So, spoiler alert, he also dies. Yeah. Aaron had a number of run-ins with the law throughout his life, beginning just a few months after he arrived in Florida as a pre-freshman. By his own admission, Hernandez became jumpy in nightclubs and had a history of taking offense at minor slights. I had it right the first time. Mm-hmm. He also said that he believed people were trying to physically challenge him and were looking to fight him. Yeah, sure they were.
Yeah.
Acquaintances described him as a follower who put himself in jeopardy by hanging out with a dangerous crowd. As a Patriot, Hernandez hired 2 of his friends from Bristol, both of whom he had criminal records as assistants. One of them, this is where I got them mixed up, Alexander S. Bradley was his drug dealer. As Hernandez assistant Bradley, other duties included calming Aaron down during fits of rage and paranoia and obtaining weapons for him. Why would you get weapons for him?
Yeah, seriously, why?
After his death, his high school teammate Dennis Sansouci said that he had drafted by the Patriots was the worst thing the NFL could have done because it put him back into close proximity with the criminal friends he had in Connecticut. Aaron had a second apartment that was kept a secret from his fiancée Shayana. It was used to store drugs and weapons, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Like, you're a football player.
Yeah.
Why are you doing this?
Why?
He would often go to the chain... Oh, God. I need a drink of water.
I'm sorry, but, like, if you were making millions of dollars in the NFL, don't you think, like, you would just not mess up your life? I would try everything not to. Like, oh, my gosh.
Right?
I can't even imagine making that much money.
Ha. I wish I made that much money.
Same.
Wouldn't have to go to... I'm not going to say it because people listen. I'm going to need to cut that out, but I don't really...
If only we were just amazing at sports. We could have went into the NFL. Too much people contact for.
If only people can follow our podcast and share it.
Yeah.
And make this bigger, we could do stuff. But he would often go there to chain smoke marijuana. In 2012, Aaron Hernandez told his agent that he got respect through weapons.
Oh.
Sure, that's how you get it.
Yeah.
Boston police detectives once questioned Aaron outside of a local bar, but the circumstances around the interview are unclear. While in prison, he told a fellow prisoner that he was a member of the Bloods, which is a gang. Yeah. Okay, you're a football player, but you're a gang member? Cool.
Okay, then.
Not cool. On April 28, 2007, according to a police report in Gainesville, Florida, a 17-year-old Aaron Hernandez consumed 2 alcoholic drinks in a restaurant with Tim Tebow, refused to pay the bill, and was escorted out by a restaurant employee. As the manager walked away, Aaron Hernandez sucker punched him on the side of the head, rupturing his eardrum.
Oh my God.
The police responded at 1:17 a.m. Aaron called Coach Urban Meyer, and Meyer called Huntley Johnson, the team's unofficial defense lawyer. The victim later told police that he had been contacted by lawyers and the team and the settlement was being worked out, something that the team denied. The police department recommended charging Hernandez with felony battery, and the incident was settled out of court with a deferred prosecuted agreement. On September 30th, 2007, someone approached a car containing Randall Carson, Justin Glass, and Corey Smith on foot, fired 5 shots while they were waiting at Gainesville traffic light after having left a nightclub. Smith was shot in the back of the head and Glass was shot in the arm. Both men survived. Carson, a backseat passenger, was unharmed until police said the shooter was a Hawaiian or Hispanic male with a large build, weighing about 230 pounds and having many tattoos. He picked a photo of Aaron out of the police lineup. Yeah. The police told Meyer's personal assistant that they wanted to see Aaron Hernandez and 2 teammates immediately. Detectives kept pushing coaches to bring players to the station, but they did not arrive for 4 hours.
Wow.
In the interim, the players spoke with Johnson, the attorney who often represented players. The other players cooperated with police, but Aaron invoked his right to counsel and refused to talk to police. When police walked into the room to speak to him, the last of the players to be interviewed, they found his head down on the table sleeping. A posture that they said was unusual for someone in the middle of a shooting investigation to be investigated.
Yeah.
Sorry, but you're just going to sleep while you know you're about to be investigated or interrogated?
Okay.
I don't know. No charges were filed at the time, but due to his 2013 arrest and subsequent conviction for the murder of Odin Lloyd, Massachusetts authorities contacted police in Florida to try to determine whether Aaron was a suspect to have a role in the 2007 shooting. Detective Tom Mullins, who was assigned to investigate the shooting, concluded that he was not the triggerman. Although Carson initially identified him as the shooter. Other witnesses that night described the shooter as looking like a black male, possibly with cornrows. When Mullins re-interviewed Carson rescinded his statement of the shooter matching Aaron Hernandez and said he never saw him at the scene, but assumed he was a shooter because they had words earlier at the club. Sounds like you got paid off.
Yeah.
But what do I know? I wasn't there. At 3:45 in the morning on April 30th, 2011, police responded to a fight in front of Aaron Hernandez's Renton penthouse in Plainville, Massachusetts. A high school friend had been pulled over earlier in the evening after driving him home from a Boston bar. The driver was weaving in and out of lanes and traveling at 120 miles per hour in a work zone on a highway with a speed limit of 55 miles per hour.
Wow.
Too fast.
Yeah.
Too fast. The Massachusetts state trooper who pulled the car over did not arrest the driver because he recognized Aaron Hernandez in the passenger seat. What? You're going to tell me? They're like, oh, no, I'm not going to arrest you because, you have a football player in your passenger seat. What?
What?
They were literally going more than double over the speed limit. They were going triple over the speed limit.
Yep.
What?
Crazy. Crazy.
The Plainville police also recognized him and told him to go indoors. Great police work.
Wonderful police work.
Yeah. Aaron was investigated in connection with a double homicide that took place on July 16th, 2012 near the Cure Lounge in Boston's South End. Daniel Jorge de Abreu, 29, and Safiro Furtado, 28, both immigrants from Cape Verde and living in Dorchester, were killed by gunshot fires into their vehicle. Witnesses testified that Aaron Hernandez's silver SUV pulled up next to the victims and someone from their car yelled racial slurs towards the victims. Someone from the car then fired 5 shots, killing the 2 immigrants. Police immediately identified Aaron Hernandez, who was then playing for the Patriots in the club's security camera footage, but thought it was a coincidence that Aaron happened to be at the same club that evening. Oh, he was there. He's done other things or been connected to other things, but it's just a coincidence that he's here today.
Good police work.
On May 15th, 2014, Aaron Hernandez was indicted on murder charges for the killings of those 2 individuals, with additional charges of armed assault and attempted murder associated with shots fired at the surviving occupants in the vehicle. The trial began March 1st, 2017. The prosecution case was strongly based on a testimony by Alexander Bradley, a known drug dealer who had been feuding with Aaron Hernandez since Aaron Hernandez allegedly shot him in the face and left him to die.
If y'all can see my face right now.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hernandez and Bradley each claimed that the other person pulled the trigger.
Well then.
Yeah.
That was a shock.
Jose Baez, Aaron's attorney, argued that the proposed motive was implausible and Hernandez was a suspect of convenience too close to 2 unsolved murders.
So that's crazy how you could just get shot in the face and still survive.
Yeah. Alexander Bradley alleged that he was infuriated after the victims spilled a drink on him at a nightclub several hours before the shooting and killed them in retaliation. Security camera footage confirmed that Aaron was in the club for less than 10 minutes. Around that time, he calmly posed for a photo with a fan and left by himself, contradicting Bradley's testimony that he departed with Aaron Hernandez. Furthermore, Baez characterized the police investigation as extraordinarily sloppy, that the victims' bodies were kept in their bullet-riddled vehicle as it was towed away from the shooting scene, a major protocol violation. Like, they just left with the whole entire car with the victims in it without taking the bodies out before taking the car away.
Wow. With
no physical evidence tying Aaron to the murders. According to the Boston Globe, again, there was a powerful evidence that Hernandez was at the scene, played a role in their deaths. Oh, I need water again. On April 14th, 2017...
Are you okay?
What is going on?
That's okay, I lost my voice like 2 episodes ago.
Yeah, I'm about to lose mine. On April 14th, 2017, Aaron Hernandez was acquitted of the murders and most of their other charges, but found guilty of illegal possession of a handgun. So it's crazy that they're like, oh, you're going to be acquitted.
Yeah.
Like, what? In January 2013, Aaron and Alexander Bradley partied at Cure again at 2:20 a.m. Bradley was pulled over on the Southeast Expressway after his vehicle was seen speeding at 105 miles per hour this time. Like, that's any better.
Yeah.
Aaron Hernandez tried to get his friend out. Oh, wait. According to the state police, he was wobbly drunk. So not only is he going 105, he is also drinking and driving. Aaron Hernandez tried to get his friend out of trouble by saying, "Trooper, I am Aaron Hernandez. It's okay."
my god. Wow. Wow. Oh, that's alright. I'm Aaron Hernandez. Do you know who I am? Like, you can't arrest me. I can't get in trouble. I'm Aaron Hernandez.
However,
everyone who doesn't watch sports is like, who?
Right? I was like, I don't even know who this is. I'm like covering it because he killed somebody. Like, I don't care that he was a football player. He's a piece of crap. However, Bradley was still arrested for drunk driving, so that's good. Yeah, good. In February 2013, Aaron and Alexander Bradley and several others visited a Florida strip club where they ran up a $10,000 bill. Aaron began to worry about two men sitting across from them, thinking they were plainclothes Boston police officers.
Wow.
Yeah. Alexander Bradley later recalled telling Aaron that they were probably tracking their pair as part of their investigation into the double murder outside the Cure. Aaron and Alexander had troubled relationship at this point. Alexander claimed that on February 13, 2013, during the same trip, he woke up in a car with Aaron pointing a gun at his face. The next morning, police found him lying in a parking lot and bleeding from a bullet hole between his eyes. Alexander Bradley survived but lost his right eye. He did not cooperate with police but instead sought revenge. The pair would trade more than 500 text messages in the next 3 months, which included death threats and attempts at extortion. Alexander told Aaron that he had semi-automatic weapons, bulletproof vests, and a crew that ran 6 deep.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. Aaron's agent tried, unsuccessfully, I might add, to settle the matter quietly. Alexander demanded $5 million to keep his silence, and Hernandez countered with $1.5 million. Alexander then asked for $2.5 million, and Aaron did not respond, but instead went to see his lawyer. On June 13, 2013, Alexander Bradley filed for a civil lawsuit for damages against Aaron in a Florida federal court. He withdrew the suit 4 days later, giving the two a chance to work out a settlement without the media knowing about it. On September 3rd, 2013, Aaron Hernandez's lawyer filed a postponement request in federal court until his murder charges were resolved. In 2016, Aaron Hernandez reached a settlement with the Alexander Bradley over the lawsuit. The terms of the settlement were not disclosed. On May 11, 2015, Aaron was indicted for witness intimidation and retaliation to the Alexander Bradley shooting, since Alexander Bradley was reportedly a witness to the 2012 Boston double homicide. That's not what that says. The intimidation charge for Aaron Hernandez carried a maximum penalty of 10 years in prison. The charge was included in Alexander's trial. Wait, I mixed up their names again. This charge was included in Aaron Hernandez's trial for the double homicide, which began on March 1st, 2017. During the trial, it was revealed that Bradley texted his lawyer about the shooting in a deleted text message, which read, quote, "Now you sure, once I..." This is a quote, and it's text, so I'm just going to read what it says. "Now you sure, once I withdraw this lawsuit, I won't be held on perjury after I tell the truth about me not recalling anything about who shot me." According to Aaron, the shooting of Bradley was actually the result of a drug deal gone wrong. Aaron was telling us that there was a drug deal that was going on and it was bad, and Alexander Bradley was mad at Aaron for vouching for these guys, his attorney, Jose, said in an interview. Aaron Hernandez was later acquitted of the charge of witness intimidation by a jury on April 14th, 2017. They also acquitted him of all charges in the murder of the two individuals in the car, except for the finding him guilty on one count of illegal possession of firearms. So he just keeps getting acquitted.
Yeah.
Like, really? Aaron traveled to California with I can't never say her name, Shayana, and their young daughter. He also has a daughter.
Wow.
In 2013, to have shoulder surgery. While there, Shayana told the police twice in less than a week, claiming that Hernandez was drunk and violent. In the first incident, he put his hand through a window. Aaron's brother and friends later said that they were drugs and guns in the rented apartment, but police determined that Shayana and the child were not in danger and never searched the premises. DJ Hernandez found his brother alone on the roof of the building one night, looking defeated and rubbing the barrel of a gun against his face. Like, this guy needs help.
I know.
And nobody has done it. They're just like, okay, you can be a football player.
Yeah.
That's good. You're good. So now we are going to go into the victim, another victim. The one that is like the main victim of this case. Odin Leonardo John Lloyd was born in St. Croix in the U.S. Virgin Islands and spent a few years with his family in Antigua. before they moved to the Dorchester section of Boston. He was the firstborn child and only son of Ursula Ward. He played football at John D. O'Brien School of Mathematics and Science in Roxbury, Boston, and enrolled at Delaware State University, where he planned to play college football for the Hornets, but left within days of arriving on campus. Odin was survived by at least one sister, Olivia Thibault, a maternal uncle who said that they had last seen Odin on the Sunday before his death. A neighbor who described himself as a regular at a nearby park where Odin would go to work out, not hang out, described him as keeping to himself. Citing Odin's physical condition, the neighbor said, quote, "Of everybody in the street, he was the one who could take care of himself, so there had to be some shaky stuff in this if he was the guy killed," end quote. Odin Lloyd was a linebacker for the Boston Bandits, a semi-pro football team. He had played for the team since 2007. At the time of his death, Odin Lloyd was dating, this gets crazier, okay, Shania Jenkins, sister of the fiance of Aaron Hernandez.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
oh my gosh.
On June 18, 2013, police searched Aaron Hernandez's home in connection with investigating of the shooting death of friend Odin Lloyd, whose body was found with multiple gunshot wounds to the back and chest in an industrial park about a mile away from his house. It's only a mile away.
Yeah.
The following day, Arpin assured Patriots head coach Bill Belichick and the owner, Robert Kraft, had nothing to do with the shooting. Despite this, Hernandez was barred from Gillette Stadium, let it become the site of a media stakeout. The team also decided a week before his eventual arrest to sever all ties with him if he was arrested on any charge related to the case. At least they did that, I guess. Yeah. On June 26, 2013, Aaron Hernandez was charged with first-degree murder in addition to 5 gun-related charges. The Patriots released Aaron Hernandez from the team about 90 minutes later, which is kind of crazy.
Wow.
It's like, okay, you're arrested, bye. Before officially informed of the charges against him. So they did it before being officially informed.
They didn't waste no time.
They're like, okay, we're done with you.
Good.
2 other men were also arrested in connection with Odin Lloyd's death. On August 22nd, 2013, Aaron Hernandez was indicted by a grand jury of the murder of Odin Lloyd. He pled not guilty on September 6, 2013, of course.
Of course.
On April 15, 2015, he was found guilty in the murder of the first degree, a charge that is in Massachusetts automatically carries a sentence of life in prison without a possibility of parole. He was also found guilty of 5 firearm charges. A motive for the murder was never definitely established. Police investigated the possibility that Lloyd may have learned of Aaron Hernandez's bisexuality and that Hernandez was worried that Odin Lloyd might out him to others. Really, though?
Yeah.
Should you really be worried about that? No. Aaron's arrest and subsequent termination by the Patriots resulted in financial and other consequences. He automatically forfeited his 2015-18 salaries totaling $19.3 million, which were not guaranteed anyway.
Yeah.
The Patriots voided all remaining guarantees, including his 2013 and 2014 salaries, on the terms that those guarantees were for skill, injury, and salary cap room. It did not include being cut for conduct detrimental to the best interests of the professional football. So it's just crazy. They're like, okay, we're taking all your money.
Yeah.
The team planned to withhold $3.5 million of Hernandez's 2012 signing bonus that was due to be paid in 2014, and to recoup the signing bonus already paid. The NFL salary cap allows teams to prorate signing bonuses over the life of a contract or a 5-year period, whichever is shorter. By releasing Aaron Hernandez, the Patriots accelerated all of Aaron Hernandez's remaining guaranteed money to the 2013 and 2014 salary caps, and the team took $2.5 million hit in 2013 and another $7.5 million in 2014, sorry. I skipped a year there. Since Aaron had not completed his 4th season in the league, the Patriots were required to place him on waivers after releasing him. He went unclaimed. After cleared waivers on June 28th, NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell announced that while charges against Aaron were pending, the NFL would not approve any contracts signed by him until Goodell held a hearing to determine whether or not he should face suspension or other action under the league's personal conduct policy. As I'm going through this, I'm I do recognize these names.
Yeah.
Because not around this time, but a little bit before this time, I would watch football with my dad.
Uh-huh.
But I'm just it's just funny that I just know these names. And prison calls Aaron, I did not know Aaron Hernandez's name at all. And it's because, we'll find out later, but they take him out of the Hall of Fame and everything.
Really?
It's crazy.
Yeah.
But Belichick and Goodell, I know those names for some reason. In prison phone calls, Aaron expressed distress at his treatment by Belichick and the Patriots. Within hours of his arrest, employees of the team's official pro shop at Patriot Place were instructed to remove all of his memorabilia and merchandise and to remove these items from its website as well. They're savage. They're just like, we're taking it all.
Good.
The Patriots Pro Shop exchanged about 2,500 previously sold Aaron Hernandez's jerseys for other jerseys, destroying and recycling the jerseys for a loss of about $250,000. So people who bought them brought them back and was like, I don't want these. Just so funny. It's also so wow.
Yeah.
Cytosport and Puma terminated their endorsement deals with him. EA Sports announced that his likeness would be dropped from its NCAA Football 14 and Madden NFL 25 video games. After visitors' complaints, a prize-winning photo of Aaron Hernandez from his rookie season, depicting him triumphantly high-stepping into the end zone in the front of Green Bay Packers cornerback Sam Shields, was removed from the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Wow.
So they're just undoing
They just
everything.
wiped his whole existence.
Right. Panini America, which is just a funny name. Panini America.
Panini.
A sports memorabilia and trading card company removed stickers of Hernandez from approximately 500,000 sticker books that had not been yet sent to collectors. The company replaced the stickers as well as trading cards with cards depicting Tim Tebow. The University of Florida removed Aaron Hernandez's name and likeness from the various locations at its football facilities, including a stone that had his name and All-American inscribed upon it.
Man, they do not mess around.
It gets even worse. His high school. Bristol Central High School also removed all his awards and gave them to his family. Pop Warner removed his name from the list of award recipients. I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh. It's just kind of funny that they're just wait, we gotta undo everything we just did.
Wiping his whole existence out.
Jeez, crazy. Aaron Hernandez gave power of attorney to his agent and instructed him to provide his fiancée with $3,000 a month and to help her find more affordable housing. He also set aside $500,000 for his fiancée and their daughter and $120,000 for a close friend. After his arrest, his vacant house fell into extreme disrepair, including suffering bursting pipes and mold. After I misspelled his name. After Aaron Hernandez's death in April 2017, his lawyers filed for a motion of Massachusetts Superior Court in Fall River to vacate his murder conviction.
How did he die?
We're going to get to that, but that's the trigger warning. Yeah. The request was granted May 9, 2017. Therefore, Aaron Hernandez technically died an innocent man due to the legal principle of abatement ab initio. Under Massachusetts law, the principle asserts that when a criminal defendant dies but not has exhausted all legal appeals, the case reverts to its status at the beginning. The conviction is vacated and the defendant is rendered innocent.
Wow.
Yeah. At the time of his death, Hernandez was in the process of filing an appeal for his 2015 conviction of the murder of Odin Lloyd, which makes me be like, did he actually do it?
Yeah. Or
because somebody, although I guess we'll get to it because we're getting to it in a couple seconds. But as of May 9, 2017, the date of the judge ruling to vacate, the Bristol County District Attorney said that they plan to appeal the ruling to the Massachusetts Supreme Court if necessary. The Lloyd family was disappointed with the ruling, but their attorney did not believe it would affect the wrongful death civil suit which the family had filed. The appeal was heard by the Massachusetts Supreme Judicial Court in November 2018, a year after Hernandez's death, by 6 justices. The attorney representing the Lloyd family, Thomas M. Quinn III, argued that Hernandez was rightfully convicted of Lloyd's murder and the conviction was unfairly wiped out. We're going to get to the trigger warning now. It's kind of long, kind of goes to the end, so kind of in a way, we mentioned it again, but the main part is 45 seconds. So go ahead and skip 45 seconds if you want to skip the trigger warning of suicide. On April 19, 2017, at 3:05 in the morning, 5 days after Hernandez was acquitted of the 2012 Boston double homicide of the 2 individuals found in the car, correction officers found Hernandez hanging with bedsheets in the window of his cell at Sousa Baranowski Correctional Center in Lancaster, Massachusetts. He was transported to UMass Memorial Hospital, where he was pronounced dead at 4:07. He had been... Okay, this is crazy. He was in jail, right?
Yeah.
He had been smoking K2, a drug associated with psychosis, within 30 hours of his death. How did he get a hold of that?
I have no idea. What the?
So,
isn't that like a deadly variation of marijuana?
I don't know. Probably. I didn't look that up. I didn't think to.
They call it like spice. That's like the stream for it. Like people like lace marijuana with that sometimes. Oh. That's crazy. How the hell?
It is associated with psychosis though. So.
Yeah.
But he had it within 30 hours of his death. So.
It is.
Okay. So I don't know how he got it because he was in jail.
Yeah.
But a fellow inmate told investigators that he had spent much of the previous 2 days smoking the synthetic cannabinoid. State Department of Correctional spokesman Christopher Fallon first said that no suicide was note and the note was found in the initial search of the two-person cell he occupied alone. On April 20th, 2017, investigators reported that the 3 handwritten notes were next to a Bible open to John 3:16 and that John 3:16 was written on his forehead in red ink, which also why would?
Yeah.
I don't know, but we're going to go into some more weird stuff. Shampoo was found covering the floor, cardboard was wedged under the cell door to make it difficult for someone to enter, and there were drawings and blood on the walls showing an unfinished pyramid and the all-seeing eye of God, which the word Illuminati written in capital letters underneath.
Oh my god, you went totally...
Yeah. The drawings were references to the Nation of Gods and Earth, a black supremacist movement. Aaron learned that the Nation of Gods and Earth, a movement influenced by Islam through hip-hop culture while in prison. He also expressed the interest in Christianity, telling fellow prisoners that we all have Jesus Christ inside of us, is what he said. Jose Baez, his attorney, reprinted the contents of the notes in his 2018 book, Unnecessary Roughness. One short letter was addressed to Baez, thanking him for securing the acquittal in the double homicide and anticipating an appeal in the Odin Lloyd case. In addition, he asked Baez to pass along the thanks to specific musicians whose songs Aaron found inspiring. The other 2 notes were addressed to his fiancée and daughter. He told Jenkins, "You're rich," which prosecutors in the Lloyd case believed that was a reference to the abatement, the legal doctrine that vacates convictions of a defendant who dies before his appeals are exhausted. In contrast to the straightforward letter to Baez, the lawyer described the other notes as written in a disjointed and markedly ominous tone. The letter to his daughter was described as the Boston Globe as strange, rambling, mystical, and tender, which is all weird to be combined together.
Yeah.
In these notes, Hernandez described entering a timeless realm and announced he would see his family in heaven, which is I guess we're gonna also get to that, but did he actually kill himself?
Yeah.
Because how did he get the drugs? I don't know. Prison officials had not observed any signs that Aaron Hernandez was at risk for suicide, so he had not been put on round-the-clock watch. Upon completion of the autopsy by the medical examiner, the death was officially ruled as suicide by hanging. In the quest of his family, Hernandez's brain was released to the Boston University to be studied for signs of chronic traumatic encephalopathy, a progressive degenerative disease found in people who have severe blows or repeated blows to the head, including football players. Baez quickly disputed any claims of suicide and stated that he would initiate his own investigation of Aaron's death. However, in 2018, Baez wrote that in the initial suspicious of the suicide finding, given Aaron's optimistic demeanor after the acquittal and the double homicide. However, he later came to believe Hernandez had taken his own life, with CTE being a major contributing factor. After his brain... I need another drink of water, I'm sorry. After his brain was removed, Hernandez's body was cremated and the ashes were given to his family. A private funeral service was held for him in his hometown of Bristol, Connecticut, following his death and was attended by his family, friends, and former teammates, including Maurice Pouncey, Mike Pouncey, and Brandon Spikes and his attorneys. The New England Patriots declined to issue a statement on his death. Sports analyst Stephen A. Smith said he had no sympathy for him after his death, instead offered sympathies to the family affected by Hernandez's criminal actions, including his own family and Odin Lloyd's family. Odin Lloyd's sister, Olivia Thibault, said to Bleacher Report of her reaction to his death, "I started crying. I'm just confused. It doesn't make sense. The timing doesn't make sense." She said her sister Shaquilla visited their brother's grave, and the suicide news broke. Then she posted on Facebook, "Not every death deserves an RIP." Jeez.
Wow.
I mean, I get her point. But I guess he was kind of a piece of crap, huh?
Yeah.
Aaron.
Yeah.
The father, Daniel, told Boston Globe, "I'm not happy about his death. It's actually a shame. Any loss of life is a shame. I believe in leaving things in God's hands." Both Pouncey's friends and teammates of Hernandez from the Florida Gators posted tributes to Hernandez on Instagram following his death. This next part is crazy. Snoop Dogg posted that he was saddened by Hernandez's death on social media accounts.
Snoop Dogg?
Just imagine getting Snoop Dogg to like...
Wow.
to like do that. Jesse Jackson tweeted, "Pray for the soul and the family of Aaron Hernandez," after it was announced Hernandez's death. Xavier Nixon, Hernandez's teammate from the Florida Gators, tweeted, "I don't care what anyone says, that was the homie, and no one deserves to go out like that." Detante Thompson, Aaron Hernandez's teammates from the Florida Gators, said in a brief phone interview, "I never thought he'd do that to himself. It's all new to me." And then Thompson called him "my guy" while testifying at his double murder trial a month before his death.
Yeah, if he got his hands on like drugs like that, that definitely could have made him do something like that.
But like, again, how would he get his hands on drugs in prison?
That's what I want to know. Like, I don't know if somebody like smuggled it in.
Oh, that's true.
Because like
maybe
someone
he
who's
did.
visiting might be able to. Like, I watched Orange Is the New Black. I've seen somebody snuggle in.
I don't watch the show.
Smuggle drugs into a prison.
Gross.
So that could work.
He probably did it himself.
Yeah, I don't know. But
Crazy.
like as soon, like if someone got their hands on it, I'm sure, like they might have even known that like it. Well, I don't know. I don't know what kind of like all effects that has, but I know it's a bad. Yeah, it's a bad thing to even touch.
Yeah,
so
I can see that. Yeah,
I can see why what happened. Like,
yeah, and maybe he did have guilt though.
Yeah,
or maybe it made him have guilt.
Yeah,
or maybe it just made him crazy.
Yeah.
Guess we'll never know.
Never will. Yeah, exactly. We'll never know.
Okay. Former professional football player and sports analyst Shannon Sharp reflected on Hernandez's downfall. Quote, "Once you reach a certain level, once you reach a professional athlete status, a lot of guys leave that life behind. Aaron Hernandez could not. He could not. He was not a studio gangster. He was a for-real gang member, and that was part of him. That was equally as important to him as playing in the National Football League for the New England Patriots." Hernandez's teammate from the New England Patriots quoted a photo of Hernandez's fiancée and their daughter sitting in the courtroom during his double murder trial for a few days before his death and tweeted, "While many were ecstatic about Aaron taking his life, let's not forget about the sweet little 4-year-old baby who had grown up with this." Urban Meyer, former head coach of the Florida Gators, later said of Hernandez in an interview of 48 Hours, "I was crushed. I was devastated. I couldn't imagine the kid that I knew doing this." Aaron Hernandez was featured in a in memoriam video that paid tribute to NFL players who died in the last year at the U.S. Bank Stadium ahead of the Super Bowl. I don't know what that is in Roman numerals. I'm sorry, I'm not looking that up. Surprising reporters in the audience. So, like, it's surprising that they were like, "Oh, here he is." Mm-hmm. Like, after taking everything away, like, it's crazy. Quinn also argued that Aaron Hernandez killed himself knowing that the technicality that would get his conviction thrown out and that he should not be able to accomplish in death and that he would have been able to do in life. So that's also it. Like, maybe he didn't know about that technicality and he was like, "I'll just do this so then I'll go out with a bang and they won't think that I killed them." Yeah. Or I'll get, like, exonerated or whatever. On March 13, 2019, the Supreme Judicial Court reinstated Hernandez's conviction, but stated that the trial record would note that his conviction was neither affirmed nor reversed. The appeal was rendered moot because Hernandez died while the case was on appeal. I am really struggling right now. I am sorry. We're almost there, though. The Boston Globe described him as being strangely content while in jail. He also told his mother while he was in jail, "I've been the most relaxed and less stressed in jail than I have out of jail," which is crazy.
Yeah.
He was, however, punished on multiple occasions for breaking prison rules, including screaming and banging on his door cell. Over the course of his 4 years behind bars, he was in prison for 4 years, which is also crazy.
Yeah.
He increasingly turned to the Bible and became more religious. And then the Globe said that prison officials seemed to turn a blind eye to his drug use and neglected to safeguard the famous inmate. A fellow inmate reports multiple instances of Hernandez needing medical attention after smoking too much K2, which was rife at the prison at the time. And he could not speak to his fiancée on the phone and often did twice a day. Or he could speak to her on the phone. But she was also facing perjury charges related to his arrest. He only saw his daughter when her mother brought her to visit. While in prison, he reconciled with his own mom, from whom he had been estranged for many years. While being held at the Bristol County Jail, Aaron Hernandez was kept in a segregated unit in an especially grim section that normally housed the mentally ill and violent. He asked to move out of the segregation, but Sheriff Thomas Hodgson would not allow it. Aaron Hernandez believed that Hodgson exploited his incarceration for publicity. After his conviction of the murder of Odin Lloyd, Hernandez was transferred to cell blocks of Sousa Baranowski Correctional Center, a maximum security prison where inmates oh my gosh, I cannot talk now. Typically spend 20 hours a day in their cells. In the 2 years he spent in the prison, Hernandez was disciplined dozens of times. He claimed that he was taunted relentlessly by guards, and according to another inmate who is serving 17 to 19 years with Hernandez on a manslaughter charge, the former NFL star was seen as a fraud by many and a god by some. While in prison, Hernandez continued to work out, and he anticipated to return to the NFL. So he thought after he got out of prison, he was going to go back. When the news of the acquittal on the charges of murdering the two found in the car were read on the news, the inmate gathered around the television and the prison cheered. They kicked their cell doors and cheered when Hernandez returned to prison that night. In the 5 days between his acquittal and his death, Hernandez gave his food, books, and even a television to his fellow prisoners, but gave no indication that he intended to take his own life. Gifts and such of these were rare in prison, but not unusual for Hernandez following a fellow inmate. 2 days before his death, reporter Michelle McPhee appeared on the Kirk and Callahan sports show during the time where she and two co-hosts used innuendos to imply that Aaron Hernandez was gay. And it suggested that was that might have played a role in his death. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so that's Aaron Hernandez and how he got away, technically, of murder. Because when he died, he was considered innocent, which is insane. So yeah. Sorry. I really struggled there.
That's okay.
I don't know what it is. I think it's just like my eyes are so messed up today. I don't know. But yeah. So I guess if you want to see pictures of Aaron Hernandez, you can.
It's crazy. He looks so nice.
Mm-hmm. Like he looks normal. And he is a football player.
Yeah.
Crazy, right?
I'm sorry, but, like, he was built, he, like, looks good. Like, why would you ruin your life? You have an amazing job with so much money.
I think the problem, though, is he was always like that.
Yeah.
He was always like that.
Yeah, his childhood good.
His childhood was not good. It was just kind of there. He was into criminal activity after his father's death when he was 16. Mm. So, like, it all started from there. Yeah. And then, like, I think the reason he even got to be in the NFL is because, remember, his dad pushed him so hard when he was younger to be athletic. So, I think that's the only reason why that even happened. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, he probably would have not even ever been that. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I'm just speculating at this point. But yeah, it's crazy. Like,
crazy.
Why would you ruin your life? And just like that Supernatural actor.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
I
don't know. The actor was also in Riverdale, too.
Who was it?
Ryan Grantham.
Who do you play?
I don't know. I was gonna cover it next, probably, if I can find enough on it. Because
I know who you're talking about. I know exactly who you're talking about. Yeah.
Okay. I think he played a little kid in Supernatural.
Yeah.
But we'll get into that whenever I do cover it at some point. But yeah. So we will post a photo of Odin Lloyd because he should not have died. And yeah. Go to our social medias on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Dreadfully Twisted Podcast. You can email us. Go to our Facebook page, Dreadfully Twisted Podcast discussion group. Our discussion group page, I mean. Or you can go to our Reddit page, r/Dreadfully Twisted Pod. And you can send us your stories there. Comment, talk to us, give us ideas. Please share our podcast with your friends and family. And we hope you keep listening. And if you do listen, we hope you give us 5 stars. 5 stars. And we will... I feel like I'm missing so much there. But I'm very tired and my head is starting to hurt. So
check out our social medias and share us with your friends and family.
Yeah. And please share us. Please. Yes, please. Please help us get the podcast out there. Please. I'm begging you. You don't know why I'm begging you, but I'm begging you. I'm just kidding. I'm begging you, though.
Yeah.
Please do it.
Please.
We love you guys. And we will see you guys next week. Bye. Oh, I lifted my hand.
Listen, that Ryan kid, tell me that.
Sorry, that was just High school.
High school.
Get it together. Okay.
High school football. High school football.
It's Bloopney, bitch.
It's a Bloopney, bitch.
I can't look at that word. I'm sorry. He said a national high school.
Not again.
So Dobby fell out the keyboard.
Dobby, what are you doing?
Okay. Yeah.